아, 죄송합니다. 예, 마이크, 이렇게 새벽에 조종한다고 좀 뭘 설정해놨는데, 그게 꺼져버렸네. 팔 분 남았네, 8분. 근데 이게 뭐냐, 실제 공식으로 이렇게 라이브 방송 한 적이 있나요? 나도 이거 처음 본 것 같은데? 몇 번, 오래됐을 것 같은데. 근데 아쉽게도 이제 1080p가 아니어가지고 VPN 깔아서 할까 이제 고민했는데 VPN은 그냥 안 하고 그대로 이제 방송하겠습니다. 혹시나 문제점이 나올 수 있어가지고. 근데 720p 720% 본다는 게 참 이게 어이가 없어가지고 좀 뭐냐 좀 더 사실 좋게 보시려면 유튜브도 해놨으니까 유튜브 쪽으로 보셔도 됩니다. 그런 이제 아까 좀 치킨 이제 포장해온 게 있는데 좀 먹다가 방송 이거 저 라이브 좀 켜놓으려고 해서 좀 이야기 나누려고 거실에다가 지금 치킨 놔두고 좀 뜯었다가 먹지도 못하고 이대로 방송 좀 봐야겠네. 아, 이제 5분 40초 남았습니다. 오, 3초. 이제, 와, 하여튼 5분이나 남았네? 아, 이 정도면 그냥 방송해도 되는 거 아닌가? 레기온 오브 파이어. 불의 통치? 불의 통치네, 불의 통치. 그러면은, 뭐야, 클리너 관련된 건가? 오. 클리너 관련된 추적자가 나올 것, 아니, 추적을 할 것 같은데, 누굴 것 같아요? 일단은 디비전 하신 분들이 잘 아시긴 할 건데. 아, 이럴 줄 알았으면은, 디비전 1부터 했어야 되는데 안 하다 보니까 디비전 1 내용을 대충 LMB가 망하고 블랙터스크랑 이제 합쳐졌다고만 들었지. 제발해서 디비전 3를 언제 내년에 출시합니다. 이거 떠버리면 진짜 디비전 요원들 다 환호의 박수를 칠까? 아, 그게 진짜 궁금하긴 하네요. 디비전 내용이 그거구나. 천년도 바이러스 기반으로 거기에 추가로 6종류의 병원체의 유전자를 조합해 치사율도 높으면서 전염성도 엄청난 생물항목인 똥칭 그린플루로 오염시키고 20배가 뉴욕으로 유통되어 하필이면 왜 블랙 프라이데이야. 인데 거라위키 내용이 그 다음 내용이 없네. 코레라인, 브루클린, 허드슨 야른, 외전 이런 식이네. 와, DLC도 언더그라운드, 서바이벌, 라스트 스탠드? 거라이키의 최고 엘리트 사양 디비전2 하려면은 암드 라이젠 7 2700X 인텔코어 i9 7900X 말도 안 되는 소리 하고 있어. 2080 Ti 야 이씨 램은 11기가.
Hello
드디어 나왔다.
everyone, and welcome
너무
to
소리가 큰일 나네.
our
일단
special live
마이크
stream
잠깐
of
끌.
Season 11 Reign of Fire. My name is Daria Ilina. I'm the community developer for the Division 2, and today with me is a very special guest, Morten Reiberg, our product director for the Division 2. Hello, Morten. Super exciting to have you here today.
Hi, Daria. It's really good to be here.
Yeah, and today we're gonna have a lot of exciting news to share, but before we'll dive into that, here is a few announcements. So first of all, if you have any questions, we're going to have time for them in the end of the stream, hopefully 15-20 minutes. So feel free to leave your questions in the chat. Our community
트위치에서
managers
3,000명이
will
보이네. 3,000명.
from there, and
야 이거를
unfortunately, on YouTube, you won't be able to leave any questions. We'll have to disable the chat there. But good news, we're now on YouTube, so you can watch us on two screens at the same time. It's probably going to be weird, but you can try anyway. And for the discussion topics today, of course, we're going to talk about Season 11, which we are very excited to release finally. So we're going to show you the new trailer, the new manhunt targets, new gear. Probably some of you
대박이다,
saw
대박.
that during the
와, 이렇게 많이
BTS,
봤다고?
but not everything.
Nope.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. So there are going to be a lot of surprises, and if you're interested to see a very familiar item from the Division 1 that is supposed to be part of the Division 2 now, stay tuned.
과연 어떤 이제 내용을
Also, we're going to talk about
뭐냐,
some PvP quality
발표를 할
of updates,
것인가.
some
이미
FPS
지금 뭐냐,
results as usual.
들어보는 이야기는 하는데 지금 많은 사람들이 이제
April event,
디비전 이제 여기 채널 자체 보면은
and
다들 닌자 이야기하고 있어. 닌자
to
백팩.
discuss
닌자 백팩이 공식적으로
Descent ETF
이게 나오는 건지
and talk about
방송을
future
보면
plans.
알 수 있을 것 같은데.
The most exciting part.
야,
Okay,
기대가
let's
일단 되네요.
dive into it.
야, 닌자 백팩 하나만 나와도 지금 그 빌드 자체들이 다 틀려지게 되죠.
Issues that's been very prominent for past few months, and community really needs to know what's going to happen with crashes on PC.
Yeah. So we know we fixed some crashes already. Actually, quite a lot. But there are some big issues that are basically legacy issues from way back, and we have identified them, which is really good, because that's kind of the basis for actually being able to address it. So the mandate right now is that we will add some very specialized people to the team that is needed in order to fix these. So that includes engine programmers and render programmers that will be added in Bucharest, so we can actually get to the bottom of this and hopefully get rid of all the crashes on especially PC, of course.
That's some really exciting news.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very big for us to have these people once they come on.
그래서 산화제 런에 대한 이야기도 나오려나? 아, 산화제 런이 진짜 너무 심해가지고.
So it's going to be like a little unit within the team that are 100% focused on securing that the live part of the game is running as smooth
좀
as possible.
That's really
짧고
exciting.
굵게 이야기 해줄 수 없나? 내 치킨이
I
씻고
have no
있어요,
idea. I'm
아저씨.
really looking forward to it. So to basically summarize everything, we're going to have a team specifically dedicated to all the live processes, to stability issues.
Yeah. So basically, just to run through, all the different reports that we get, and make sure, with, of course, of our quality control team, and that we can look at it, get the data we need in order to start fixing it on a back end, and then retest, and then hopefully deploy something that.
이거 뭐냐, 이제 대충 내용이 그거예요. 지금 디비전 2 그
And I'm
뭐냐,
looking forward to finally update those
얘네들이
issues for dedicated to PC stability issues, and I'm sure that a lot of players, especially
서버에 대한 이제 안정성을 이제 그런 부분에서 팀을 꾸리고 있다. 그런 내용인데, 이제 특히 이제 우리가 PC판 있잖아요. PC판이 많이 심각하잖아요. 그 PC판 자체를 이제 그거에 대해서 이제 염두에 두고 지금 하고 있나 봐요.
We know about it, and we're going to do something about it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Moving on. Obviously, I'm maybe trying to kind of foresee the questions that we're going to see in the chat later today, but I'm just
예, 이제
100% sure that
우리가 이제
people
많이 겪는 게
wanna
그거잖아요.
ask about
PC판이 이제
this one.
크래시도 많이
Because
나고
there's
튕기는 현상도
Yeah.
있고.
no updates for
네,
quite some
근데
time.
말은 맨날 많이 저렇게 하는데.
Yeah, I guess the article from
참.
way back in the fall of, what was it, 21, is still biting us a bit. We're not going to move into details on year 5. So we ask you to wait a little longer on that kind of detail. So for now, we don't have information to share. But in our year 5 update, we'll get in on all things year 5 and how we're going to change the game.
And I assume that for year 5, as soon as we're done with the season 11 release, we'll probably update the roadmap to let everyone know what are our future plans.
Yeah, we have some good plans for
아,
a year
6,000명
5
실화야?
update to all our players.
야.
we'll let you know when we're ready to reveal that kind of information.
Yeah, but this stream is not about year
No.
5. This stream is about season 11.
Correct.
And yeah, also some exciting news. Probably
야,
a lot of
이-
you already know
아니,
about that. But the Division 2
이렇게
is
이
now available on
정도로
Steam.
관심을 갖고 있으면은 좀
It is.
IP를 좀 이거 더 키울
Which is super
말만도 한데.
exciting. And yeah, there are a lot of questions about Steam Deck.
Yeah, so we had a little internal competition going on, I guess. So we actually updated at the Steam client, so it is now fully functional with the easy anti-cheat on Linux. So it can now run perfectly on Steam Deck natively. We're still struggling to get the full, certified stamp from Steam, which is basically just some technicalities on screen keyboard readability and such. But we're really happy with the game actually being fully functional on deck. So if you feel like being comfortable in the couch playing Division 2
VPN이라도
or in the
써서
bedroom, then this is absolutely doable now.
방송을 깔끔하게
Yeah,
봤어야
and I
됐나?
know that it's possible for the first installment, right? The Division 1
Yes.
is running on Steam Deck, so if you want to try, give it a try. It's already available. And yeah, I think we should address the elephant in the room as well, the compensation cash. Because yeah, we've received a lot of questions about the cash
Yeah.
not being delivered or being delivered but not showing up in the mailbox. And it's actually a big issue right now.
It is annoying for us. So we know that there is, for some people, it is a minority, but still, it's for us, it's extremely frustrating that some players are not receiving the grants that we set up. We're working very hard to fix it with an online team here at Massive. But we will most likely tomorrow extend the period for when we do the compensation cash grant. That does have an impact on a few other smaller things, but knowing that there's still people out there that needs to get it, that is the right decision to make at this point.
Yeah, and I would also mention that if you're worried or for some reason you think that you did not
얘네가
receive
튕기는 거에
grant
대한
and you
그런
received
뭐
it, but
다시 들어갈 수
you
있는
were
거
not
부분은
able to
업데이트
find
안
the
하나
mailbox,
보네.
just saw the message
희한한
or
애들이야.
the receipt. There is
그
no
정도로
need for you to,
서버 자체가
reach out
하기가
to support
힘드나?
right now because we are totally aware of the situation and we are making sure to fix it, and we would just want to prevent the tickets from piling up because it's obviously puts a lot of pressure on support and it's our responsibility to actually fix it. So
Correct.
and before we will move to some other things, there is one last question since I have you here and you're very knowledgeable about a lot of things. It's probably a question like I will ask you honestly as a noob. And I know that's also a problem that some of the players ran into. So talking about
이건 뭐냐, 밸런스 이야기도 나오네요.
difficulties.
뭘 밸런스 시켜버리려고
Sometimes
그럴까?
whenever you set the difficulty
와, 무서운데?
to a lower one, it does not really feel like it actually scales down.
Yeah. So we've seen a few videos and comments that that the difficulty was available in the classified assignment missions, and it was at the time unintended behavior for the game. That also means that this is actually happening because it's taking the difficulty that you set on the global setting and applying that to all content. Which means that if you go to a mission and try to start it and you can't complete it and you think, all right, I'll redo it on a lower difficulty, well, it doesn't really affect the mission difficulty unless you lower the global setting difficulty.
글로벌
And that
세팅?
also happens with the directives, which is why directives is available in certain areas that normally wouldn't, the raids as an example. And we actually think that it's a really cool thing, and we're actually working on implementing this for real across these activities, so that you would be able to, like with all missions.
저도 이제 영어를 못이라 이제 대충 두 곳만 있긴 한데
And the same
리스닝을 하고
for,
있는데
the raids.
이건
Not the difficulty, of course, but to apply directives to them. just for the added fun for those players that feel that it can be a chore to get through a normal difficulty rate. I'm not one of them, but there are certainly many of them out there.
But when should we expect that one?
Oh, I don't want to promise anything, but we're working on it for sure.
Okay, yeah, we'll just paint a pretty picture.
Yeah, exactly.
The idea is good enough. So looking forward to it definitely. And I think we can move to discussing the PTS results.
레이드 그 있잖아요. 레이드 지령을 도입한다는데요. 와, 그럼 엄청 빡세지겠는데?
Our PC players to test the upcoming content, mainly seasonal content, and for us it serves as the perfect opportunity to
뭐야, 왜 갑자기 보여주다 말하고.
and make some good adjustments.
Yep, correct.
And yeah, this PTS had a lot of PvP quality of life updates. And I think we can talk about them. I already see that on the screen, Jammer.
Yeah, so when we tested the new functionality to the Jammer on the PTS, you had to match the skill tier level of the opposing player. So that was a bit drastic, and we heard that. So what we're actually doing, and you can bring up the graphic potentially. So what we're basically doing is that we are adding so that it can actually jam plus 3 skill tiers to your own skill tier.
PVP인가 보네.
Let's say you have
PVP 말 많던데.
you can still jam players that have 1, 2, and 3 skill tiers. And of course that goes all the way up. Meaning that if you have 3 skill tiers, you can jam even skill tier 6. This is still being balanced, I would say, depending on how the meta plays out during Season 11. I want to leave room for this to be adjusted because it's very easy for us to make it maybe only plus 2 or whatnot. But it's very important that we start addressing this because it's a very, very easy skill to use and it completely handicaps skill players, but at least it also leaves room for those that are not skill based player built.
지금 그 EAP가 와
And the other
이런 거는 이제 PVP 같은 경우에는
we can bring that
장난 아니겠는데요?
We're not changing anything to the EMP sticky, meaning that if you are running a 0 skill tier build or maybe 1 with the memento, you can still use the EMP sticky. It does require some more skill to use, and that's why we think that it's more fair, that it actually can have a
이게 이제 지금
range in terms of what it actually jams.
EMP가
the
뭐냐
comments that can it just disable
3스킬 정도면은 6스킬까지
is not really in our game, and it would require a lot of
예, 그
building.
뭐냐 설치물도 다
So
제거가
this is what
가능한가
we can
보네.
do right now, as we wanted to address it, and then we'll keep reading the feedback and see where we take this. It'll also be discussed with the ETFs that we come back to later on.
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, I'm just going to mention that whenever we have PTS and some changes come as a result of us reacting to the feedback we saw during the PTS, it doesn't mean that those changes would stay like that forever, because whenever the wider player base gets their hands on the update, of course the feedback can be completely different, and that's totally
예,
normal.
PVP에서
So just letting you guys know that everything's in your hands.
더치 이제 그런 부분이 좀 문제가 좀 있었나 봐요. 그거를 이제 조정하는가 보네.
There is
Scale,
another
currency,
very important
트랩,
change just
sharpener.
appeared on the screen, and it's the shrapnel trap.
PVP.
Finally.
Yeah, fine.
근데 이게 다 PVP 관련이네. 나는 이제 PVP 잘 안 하니까.
It's been wrong.
이게 PVP 한 사람들 입장에서는
Scales correctly in PvP.
어떤 결과가 올지
That's a
모르겠는데.
big relief for a lot of players
Yeah.
going into season 11 for sure.
But that's not it. There another thing that we asked you to test during the PTS, and it actually resulted in a lot of discussions among the community. It's adding the few exotics that are otherwise exclusive to a specific content, namely raids. And now we are adding them
Oh.
to the dark zone. And
Yeah.
you can see those exotics on the screen right now. It's
아,
random,
맞아. 이거
and it will be
이게 그 저기
And
뭐냐
what is
다크존에서
important
나온다
to
하거든요. 이제
mention
필드라.
here that this change is not an attempt to kill raids or affect raids in any way. It's just an
이건 어차피
opportunity
이미 다 들었을 거예요.
for players who either have problems with fighting a raid group or do not have enough time to beat the raid, because we all know how complicated that game mode is. It's just an opportunity to receive those exotics.
근데 솔직히 레이드 가서 먹는 게 편하지.
Yeah.
고통받으면서 다크존 가서 고통받으면서
I think
Absolutely.
드실 분 계실라나?
the desire from our side is that it's still a lot easier to obtain these items if you find a group and play with them and go through the raid or a legendary mission than to try and have them dropping inside the dark zone and extracting them. So the drop chances are lower than other exotics in the dark zone, and that's just like half the job, because then you also, of course, also need to get them out, as they do drop as contaminated
Yeah.
loot.
They do. And actually, I have
레골 관련된 거 이야기한 것 같은데? 뭔 내용이지?
similar to the one on heroic in the open world, in the live world. So it's not really a high percentage.
No. But it's there. It's gonna add some fun, hopefully, some more, upbeat discussions. There are open mics. It's always fun to listen to that, and we can discuss if it's toxicity or just playing on each other's nerves. I guess it's the latter.
But I'm 100% sure that it won't take anything from the Raiders community, and we know and appreciate their efforts in helping each other, helping players within the community find the groups and actually beat the raids. And I'm sure that this specific, situation where you not only come together to beat the raid, but find, good people within the community, new friends, new teammates.
또 봐봐야 되나?
That's not something that
No.
Dark Zone can
No.
compensate for.
아, 레이드가 이제 안 나올 수 있다는 이야기도 있다는데?
That the Dark Zone will no longer have non-contaminated loot dropping. So the targeted loot will now again be contaminated and needs to be extracted.
Starting with
Season 11.
Season 11, so
Yeah.
starting tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Back to the normal Dark Zone. We've been a bit generous in Season 10 due to a bug, but it's been decided a long time ago that we wanted to change it back with this change of the exotics. So yeah, that's coming with the update tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the percentage of extraction is going to be.
Oh yeah.
So if it's possible for us to track that data, we'll definitely share it with everyone in the community to just compare it and maybe kill the conversation about raids versus Dark Zone once and for all. We'll see. But PvP changes and quality of life updates, of course, it was not everything that we had during the BTS last time around. There were a few updates that we also wanted to mention. And I'm seeing on the screen something that was not.
지금 스킨 이런 부분은 이제 세부화를 좀 조정한가 보네.
I'll let you comment on that anyway.
Yeah, I just want to mention we've had on the Known Issue Sport for some time the
독수리 탐자가
XP.
드랍될 확률이 낮다.
We know that it's a big desire for the conflict players to have XP added to their shade level. We are working on it. We hope to have it in with this season, but unfortunately, it's gonna take a little more time to get it ready. As it was apparently a bit different from what we had expected in the beginning. So it has to be with the next season, unfortunately. So it's gonna be the first season of year 5 we are aiming for. I really wanted to get it in, but it's just not possible. there was a lot of other things we needed to make sure that also happened, and that's one of the outcomes.
And I guess that can also
좀
become
짧고
part of
굵게 좀
the
해라,
idea
이씨.
for next
너무한
time
거
we have it for
Yeah.
the first season of
Yes.
year 5.
Correct.
So yeah, and a few other things that people were discussing after the last BTS, for example, the hot shot.
Yeah. I mean, it's
To
working
remove
as intended now.
yeah, we know that, but we'll just probably keep monitoring the performance and
Yeah.
see how it plays out whenever everyone gets their hands on season 11.
There's one especially one comment on the new exotic Sacrum Imperium that was, we understand the desire to have that. It was adding a scope functionality to it. So what we will do later in season 11 is that we will add the C79 scope to the Sacrum Imperium, so you can have that, choice of zooming in or not. So that's going to be a welcome change, both in PV and PvP.
Definitely. And if we can have the previous picture back here, there is another update.
마스크 그만 보여줘,
Gonna be
씨.
available for you starting
알았어,
from
뭔지.
tomorrow.
아니, 이런 거는 그냥 넘어가자.
So this is a small quality of life update on our masks. So we're changing.
이게 세밀하게 좀
to
고쳤다
give,
이거 아니야.
more
수정했다.
depth to all our masks and headgear. We've actually done a lot of minor adjustments to all our apparel, but this one is very noticeable. As you can see on the right side, it adds the shadows and such to the face behind the mask, and we hope you'll enjoy these small and subtle features that just sneak their way into our updates.
Yeah, the way you also sneaked this specific picture into the live stream, because I mean, small things like that are actually super exciting, and they make the game as beautiful and immersive as it is.
Yeah.
And it's very important. It's a big part of the Division fantasy. And I guess with that, we are done with the PTS discussion, and we can finally showcase you and show you the season 11.
Yeah.
Yep. Can we show the trailer, please?
뭐야. 뭔 영상이냐?
We got used to winning, to defeating our enemies, or turning them to our cause.
트레일러지?
But now they have their own alliance,
아, 헌터 아니야, 헌터.
led by Sokolova.
어? 저 아나운서 누구지?
And if the mastermind of the Black Tusk is coming to Washington, it will be to eliminate the division.
뭐야. 이런 트레일러가 있었나?
That's why she needs Stovepipe. They don't care about the cost. Only who wins.
내가 아까 전기 나갔다. 신총이다. 신스나, 뭐지? 아, 저거. 흑급인 같은데? 내가 볼 때는 소총 같은데?
That was a very cool trailer. I love it.
Yeah, I hope you all liked it.
I mean, it's really amazing. It's impressive.
We've been waiting.
잠깐만. 저거 앤더스 장군이야.
I love that
누구야?
one. Oh, I love it. The blinking. Yeah. Nice. So, as you can see,
아니, 근데 이건
season
타이틀
11
베이스나,
Empire,
타이틀 베이스 같은데?
that will become available
또 타이틀
to you
베이스니.
tomorrow, up to the maintenance
아.
features, the new
아까 누워있던 게.
primal,
Target,
yeah, primal target.
셰퍼였나 보구나,
his name
셰퍼.
is, Zachary
Stovepipe,
Stovepipe Beatty. And here they are, our four new
쟤들이 이제 추격하는 거네요. 스토브 파이프.
As usual, the manhunt, you will need to beat Chunks, Bantam, Cursed, and Onti in order to
Stovepipe인가?
get
파이프라고
the
해야 되나?
intel on Stovepipe. And those
Yeah.
are very interesting targets.
Yeah, I think.
아, 그래요?
There's some
아,
really
스토브
stuff
파이프.
in the bios and stuff,
제가 추격자 이번에 시즌
that,
추격자인가
I'm sure
보다.
some players will dig into. And
야,
the story overall
아찔아찔하다.
in season 11 is, the conclusion to our year 4. And I'm really excited to see the reactions of players getting this conclusion and
앤더슨이죠.
still
셰프 아니고
find,
나 셰프가 셰프 보였는데
character,
앤더슨인가 보나.
that we're all going for, and of course the omnipresent Sokolova. She's starting to really make herself, present in our story and on our lore. So that's definitely some very cool moments coming up for sure.
Yeah, kudos to our narrative director, Lauren Stone,
Yeah.
for creating such an immersive story. I mean, we obviously don't want to give away any spoilers.
No, that would be a bit sad, but it's we know that there's
뭐야? 왜 이래?
gonna be
깜짝아,
a
씨.
very special.
멈춰버린 줄 알았는데. 방금 터진 줄 알았어. 아유, 지금 미친 것 같아요.
For the continuation
아니,
of the story.
디비전 요원들이 이렇게 많았다는 거야? 아, 이렇게 관심 많이 가질 줄 몰랐어. 6,400명 보고 있잖아요. 아, 대단하다.
You will see for yourself.
Yeah, he seems a bit cocky, right?
Yeah. Okay, enough about Stovepipe, but he looks good, right? So let's talk about gear, talents, and new weapons that we also got to have with season 11. Some of them were available as during the BTS, but the most important thing was not.
씨,
And I
딱
really
이건가?
important comment on it.
Yeah, there's a
러시아예요, 러시아? 아, 앤더슨은 안 했더만. 아, 앤더슨 아니. 그러니까 이런
on top of
스토리
of course,
자체를 좀
the
해봤어야
the
되는데 안
gear
해보니까는
set
쟤가 누군지.
and the 2 new exotics. So there's the ninja bike messenger
오!
bag.
나왔다, 닌자 백패 나왔다. 야, 나왔다, 닌자 백패.
The review, yeah.
Happening.
닌자 백패.
So the most asked question since
Yeah.
the PTS: where do you get this? And the second most asked question:
Will it
what
be locked?
cores will it
Yes.
have?
Yeah. So to answer those, it won't be locked behind the progression.
No, it will be on the season pass track.
시즌 패스로 하는데? 그러면은 시즌 패스에
It
나온가
will
보다.
have all 3 cores like the manager.
아,
I wanted to show like that, but yeah, 3 cores, and obtainable.
Yeah.
Almost immediately. I mean, it depends on how fast you will be able to unlock.
얘가
those.
이제 닌자 백팩은
One needs
사야
to wait
시즌
until
패스
time expansion, and
저거 효과 적용하려면 저거 쓰려면은
Start
야,
playing.
yeah.
So we'll see this.
이제 지금 우리가 백팩을 많이 쓰고 있는 게 그거잖아요. 메멘토잖아요. 근데 메멘토 대신에 닌자 백팩을 쓰는 경우가 많겠는데?
And then we'll see the meta, how it will evolve with this item, because for sure it opens up a lot of different variations, and I'm really looking forward to seeing
야,
the
진짜
creativity from
빌드 자체가 다
Yeah,
틀려지겠네.
finally,
어떻게
worthy contender
어떻게 다
for
이제 뭐
Memento.
쓸데없는 템들은 다 갈아야 되나
right?
또?
It's been like the number 1 backpack since it arrived. So we hope this.
헌터킬러가 모시고 가네.
some,
지금 다 끝났어.
some variety in the builds.
헌터킬러 조끼고 보고 가네.
And
다
about
끝났어요.
season
이거 하나로
11,
해결.
It's gonna
메멘토.
be available,
메멘토보다 차라리 이거 많이
tomorrow,
쓰겠다.
for 1,000 premium credits, and it's also going to feature 12 new weapon skins.
아,
And I think we have a few of them that we can show. Yeah. Oh, we have everything here,
Yes.
and also in my notes. And 11 new gear dice and 2 new face
잠깐만.
masks.
우리가 기동 4셋의 효과가 이제 그거잖아요. 저기 뭐냐. 아, 뭐였더라?
So one of the masks is going to be available as a level 100 reward. Those
디비전
are very
틀어놨어야
good
되는데,
masks.
씨.
I don't
효과를
think I
생각이 안
will
나네.
have them here, but
근데
that's going
이제-
to be a very pleasant surprise
아.
for all of you. And also another important comment that now season
네,
pass,
제일 중요한 게 뭔지 알아요?
levels.
메멘토처럼 삼속성이에요.
Credits.
Yes.
So
From the
if you
get-go.
if you don't feel like grinding for Memento Backpack or Sacrum Imperium, because Sacrum Imperium is also not locked behind the Manhunt, it's available on the as a reward. So
Correct.
yeah. Oh, I really love that one.
이게 내가 딱 봐도 소총 같다.
Harvesting
이게
out
어떻게
themselves.
돌격총은 아닌 것 같다. 맞네, 소총
I saw a
맞네.
really funny video. I can't remember who it was, but where he slowed one of the big guys, so he was moving.
사크럼 임페리움?
While he was shooting and burning him. Yeah, it's gonna add some really fun moments. This one.
저것이
Oh, yeah. I mean,
G28
probably
특급인가?
A lot of you already realize that, but this season is also playing a lot into the
다시 나온다.
rifle and sharpshooter fantasy.
It's all about headshots, sniper fantasy and headshots. Yeah. So here we have the hotshot gear set in all its glory, and yeah, those that can really land consecutive headshots, they will have fun with this one.
사실 세트는 좀 괜찮아 보이는데?
And all the information about the
뭐야?
here's some gear dice.
야 이거 좀 발음 잘못하면 큰일 나겠는데?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, the busy day.
This is why it's so good to have you here.
The disco tiger. It's so you can't see the tiger face in this video, but you'll see it
Disco
with
tiger.
the good lighting.
에이씨 스킨이네. 난 또 뭔가 했네.
Oh, the waffle.
Yeah, I really love how like chocolate doesn't look like chocolate, but that what makes this gear die so good. No, gear die, weapon skin. I
Yeah.
keep messing things up, sorry. But what I wanted to mention super quickly is that I forgot. No, I remembered, sorry. So every weapon, every talent will be listed in our patch notes that we're gonna release actually tonight with the announcement of the maintenance.
왜 이런 바쁜날이라고
So
했을까?
if you have any
참 이해가 안 되네.
questions, if you wanna make sure, just check our socials later tonight.
And all the quality of life.
Yeah, everything is gonna be there. And the Sacrum Imperium, all the new exotics, the ninja,
네 이제
like messenger backpack.
와 여기서 제일 중요한 거는 닌자 백팩인데 내일 내일 한다. 오늘 오후에 패치하잖아요. 내가 봤을 땐 패치 좀 오래 걸리지 않을까.
But there is something that we want to mention about the
근데
exotic
지금
from
뭐냐
season
정상적으로 뭐 3시간 한다 해도 3시간 더 걸릴 것 같기도 하고 그동안 또 업데이트 하다 보면 또 뭐 문제가 생길지
About Dr.
모르니까
Home, yeah. So once we
어지러지하네.
know that we promised to grant this to all the players, and it will happen. But first we focus on actually fixing the grant system, and then we'll get back to making sure that you get it.
근데 이제 우리가 닌자 백팩을 쓰잖아. 닌자 백팩을 쓰면은 백팩에 관련된 거는 그렇죠. 이제 아무래도 잘하면 새벽 좀 문제 많이 생기면은 그 다음 날 뭐 오후. 근데 이제 이게 제일 중요한 게 닌자 백팩을 쓰면은 이제 백팩에 관련된 그 효과들 있잖아요. 그거를 쓸 수 있는 게 많이 줄어들지 않을까. 닌자 백팩이 오히려 더 효과가 좋다 보니까.
An item and you have to pick it up. We're basically making a mark on the target, and when the target dies, it applies the 10% armor to your group. So on kill, no need to pick up anything. So that's gonna be a massive buff to the weapon as I see it. So that's gonna be interesting. There's no overhealing or.
아니 근데 그 저기 뭐냐 뭐지?
I don't know. Bonus armor.
그 뭐냐 앤더슨 그 시즌 다 앤더슨 클리어하면은 주는 그 특급 있잖아요.
Really interesting to see the performance.
그게 그 저게 이름 뭐였더라? 그 총 그 뭐냐 회복량 너프 시킨다는데.
Finally, it's gonna grant you exotic components when deconstructed.
Correct.
And the focus talent should also.
아 주치.
applicable to
그 너프 시킨다네.
Yeah, work with it.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
So
Also going to be in patch notes.
it will.
So check it out later tonight. And I think that anything else we want to mention about season 11 apart from
아,
that
너프가 아니고.
is really great and the new
야 너프는 맞는데 그 이제는 이제
No, I think that
파티 이제
sums it
파티
up,
전체에
good,
피를 줄 수
players,
있다네.
experience, all the content for themselves and get back to
파티 전체에
uh,
그 뭐냐 적용이 된다고 그러네.
Yeah, and looking forward to how many gonna have Ninja Bike Messenger backpack
Yep.
as their go-to item. Okay, and one last thing that is related to Season 11 is the April event. That's gonna called Necessary Tactics.
Yes.
And we can show it here. It's gonna have 6 full cosmetic outfits and 3
이벤트를 할 것인가?
reward masks. Completion reward masks. Right? Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Ah.
So there were a few snapshots.
새로운
As you can
옷인가?
see, the fantasy
의상인가?
behind it is very
아, 나 개인적으로
Camo.
저 뭐냐 해골 디지털 그거 좀 다시.
That's something that players have been asking for.
아, 지금도 전체
So
적용이라고요?
hopefully you guys gonna enjoy it. I think it looks very nice.
Let's go.
그래요? 파티용으로 바꿔주네 어찌네 그런 이야기를
With
하는데.
the aces, it's so cute. It's probably weird.
Playing cards.
Yeah, probably weird to say that something that looks so tactical and
They-
camouflagey is
They
cute.
also need time to just sit and play cards.
Yeah.
아, 지금 나 꺼라이키를 봤는데 맞네요. 그 키트를 해보면 파티 전체 회복 효과
So
적용된다.
this will be, of course,
키트는 보너스
Not
카운트로
tomorrow.
제공하지 않는다.
but in a few weeks, as per usual, we'll have the apparel event coming up.
Yeah, and it will also update you with all the information about the keys. Every,
이게
every
아마
event
키트는
coming
키트
to
대신에
same problem.
회복량을
We do not
떨어뜨리고
know
처치
where to
시에
get
이게
the
회복이 될
keys.
수 있게 그렇게 되는 것 같은데?
Don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll definitely showcase that as well.
Yeah, so all players get one key.
Yeah.
No
yeah.
matter if you own the premium or
어떻게 보니까 이제 다른
not,
커뮤니티도
there's
보고
season
있는데
pass, and then of course
그런
there's
식으로
additional fees
내용을
for season pass,
말을 많이 하네요.
premium, owners, just as usual.
Yeah, and one key for 4 shade levels.
Yes, correct.
So yeah, at least 3 different ways of obtaining the keys.
Yeah, and you can, if you feel like it, you can buy and grant keys to your younger sibling, or if you know somebody you wanna.
You want to look cute in the tactical outfit.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay then, and there are a few things that we wanted to briefly comment on. I think we'll start with Descent game mode because originally it was supposed to be part of.
야, 아마 이제
Season 11,
그
and
처치를
then
하면은
that we
바로 10%가 찰 수
announced on the
있게 그런
previous
식으로
live
될 것
stream.
같아요.
But since then, a lot of things has changed, and the most important part of it is that we decided to include
아, 이건 뭐냐?
co-op option.
여기는 어디냐?
So there was a lot of questions about
새로운 장소인가?
was it single player only or not? It was intended to at least be co-op
오!
at some
하강
point.
모드.
And
아이씨.
we really wanted and needed to improve on this aspect of the game mode to make
이거
it
하강 모드
compelling and really feel right
연기된다네요.
when playing in a group. Because as a roguelite inspired game mode, it's quite different. And yeah, we're gonna go into all the details in the next live stream. But just knowing that playtests are ongoing. We're playtesting ourselves. and
연기한다네요.
it's super fun.
대신에 이제 좀 뭐냐,
So we can't wait to
좀 더 하강 모드에 대한 보강을 한다 그런 식으로
get you all playing.
이야기를 하네요.
I guess you can reveal a little something about
Yeah.
when they can do that.
It's going to be included in the next season's BTS. So basically, the first season of year 5, we're going to have Descent game mode available during the BTS, and we'll share more information about that once we're closer to that.
나를
So at the
생존 같은
moment,
그런
so
분위기를
we're
좋아했는데,
going
아니
to
분위기를
go through season
기다리고
11 first,
있었는데, 아
season
과연
2,
어떤
5.
식으로 또 나올라나?
Yeah.
이게 원래 이제 정상적으로 하면 지금 봄에 나와야
In the
되잖아요.
coming months.
In the coming
네.
months, yeah. But it's
봄에 이제
so exciting. I mean,
뭐,
I'm had
봄에 안 나오면 여름에 나올 확률 크거든요.
It's really fun to play together with someone. So
가령
definitely the
6월 달?
multiplayer is worth the
And
wait.
especially,
5월 아니면 6월?
with
5월,
multiplayer,
5월까지
and
봄이던가?
the fact that you start without gear, you as a very experienced player can, ask a friend to join, and within a very few levels, they just need to onboard basically in the game and open the helicopter. You can start playing Descent together because you'll have the same base gear, depending on your choices, of course. Just have fun together.
And the variability of builds that are otherwise not really accessible in that type of combinations in the main game.
We're not revealing too much.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to share my excitement because actually me and Morten we play together. So.
Yeah. At that time, I think it was overtuned, so it was a bit difficult.
Let's wait until the BTS whenever we have it.
Yes.
And actually, talking about testing, we wanted to make a brief announcement about the ETF because also we've seen a few questions, people wondering if it's been cancelled, if it's still ongoing, and we want to ensure you that it's on track. It's
ETF.
maybe happening as we speak
뭔데?
at this very moment.
뭘
I don't know.
DTF도 왜 ETF로
Do
바뀌었어?
you? So yeah, if you as the ETF member, you were selected, you signed the NDA, and you either did not receive the invitation to our ETF Discord server or the invitation link expired, please let us know. Please reach out to me or Morten, or if you have the community team email, and we will resend the link to you.
Yes. It's going to happen very, very soon.
Yeah.
That's probably what we can say, right?
I don't know. We already did that.
Yeah.
Okay, we are closing to the most exciting part, I think. Apart from the stovepipe face reveal and the really cool trailer, future plans. And that is something that we have outlined on our known issues board. And I know that some of those changes may seem a little bit confusing, and we just wanted to provide more insights and explanation. And you already mentioned in the very beginning the XP revamp and the conflict. So
yeah, that's mostly for conflict, but yeah, there's of course another XP revamp that we have been mentioning before, an overhaul to the complete XP gains in different activities. It's gonna arrive with the first season in year 5, is the plan.
ETF가 대체 뭐길래 ETF 이야기를 하는 코너는
Make sure that no one's open world activities worth more your time than others. We want to try, and it can't be perfectly balanced, but at least we want to make sure that it makes sense to do all the activities that are closest to you instead of just running for the same over and over. So
설마 여기 뜻은 아니겠지?
an XP increase, and very few will be adjusted a little down to rebalance that, to make it more enjoyable to just explore and have fun in the game instead of just chasing and resetting the map constantly. So that's the goal, and that will arrive with the first season in year 5.
Yeah, we will definitely share more information about it on the new known issues board. I think pretty much everything is in there. Probably we'll have to update it with the newest info. But yeah, if you have any questions or want to make sure that you are not missing anything, please don't forget to visit our known issues board.
Yes,
because it's not only it's not only dedicated to the issues or problems that we have in the game, but also some future plans and the changes that we are considering. So it would be very important for us to also get your feedback on that.
Yeah, and for conflict to add to the XP gains. So of course we also want to add proficiency gains. We want to add targeted loot. And potentially exotic components chance in the caches. So that's all part of
경험치를 좀 많이 주는 걸 부분대에서 좀 뭘 수정하려는가 보네.
things up a bit in the game across the different modes. So this time around, it was the Dark Zone that was the focus. Not that the Dark Zone will not be a focus for the next season, but at least we want to try and do what we can for conflict, because it feels like it's like a tag on at the moment that's not really a part of the
디비전 방송하는 방송 신청하는 외국인 같은 경우에도 지금 이제 많이 식어버렸나 보네. 이게 거의 이제 마무리되어가는 느낌이에요. 이 방송 자체가.
And that's one of the ideas behind it.
이게 끝인가 보다.
And then we have other
얼마 딱 그래놓고 짜잔 하면서 딱 업데이트를 했는데 업데이트 패치 내용에 대해서 막 여러 가지 더 나오고 막 그런 것도 있으려나 참 궁금하긴 하네요. 뭐 그럴 리는 절대 없을 것 같긴 한데.
You don't really have any kind of indication as to who becomes the leader of the group. So we're adding some UI elements that will clearly show you if you have been selected the group leader. And it will also indicate very clearly when the group is full and you can start the game mode. So hopefully that will speed up the matchmaking times and queue times for players across the board.
Yeah, that's minor but very useful update for sure.
Yeah. So these are all, we have a ton of quality of life things that we're working on, especially UI related. Some are coming now. And then we have a long list of things we want to do again for the next seasons.
Yep. And I think that we actually now have time to answer some of the questions. I'm sorry for being
okay.
so out of disrespect. I was just checking the questions that we've got. So let's see what will be the roadmap after season 11. Actually, we released a roadmap earlier, I think not even this year, probably in December last year, that features the beginning of year 5. And of course, we will be updating it closer to season 11 end, right? With more year 5 information.
Yeah. Maybe I should just, again, state that season 1 in year 5 is not a rerun of an old season. We're basically just taking away the season number from 12-13 because it doesn't really add up or align with our TU numbers, so our title update numbers. That is a term that we use in our production, and a lot of the community is using it as well, and that just creates a lot of weird situations. I've seen people stating, "Hey, it's season 17 coming soon," and it's like, what? So it's just to get rid of that and basically
디비전 17은 뭔 개소리 하는 거야?
potentially just remove numbers and really try and use the naming of the season more or the TU numbers. So no, it's not a rerun.
Thank you so much for clarifying that again. So there was a question about the season 11 delay that prevented us from having a global event for almost 2 months. And I remember on Twitter we were saying that we are considering this option, and this is something that we wanted to put on from the get-go. But unfortunately, the build system, since you all know it was very heavily affected, that prevented us from doing that.
Yeah, so for us to change the content of the season, we actually need to do a client update, so that the client is in sync with what the server is showing and telling the client. So adding a global event, it on paper it sounds super simple to just rerun a global event, but we can't. We would love to do it, and it's just one of the things that hopefully in the future we can change that behavior, but for now that's not a possibility we have.
Yeah, but it was definitely something that we were considering from the very beginning, and we know that that's something that players wanted and we ourselves wanted, but unfortunately technically it was not possible at the time. There are a few questions about the apparel. Will the apparel from last seasons be obtainable through the apparel crates? With the beginning of the new season for
From the
the
apparel event?
와,
baby.
So
지금
they
이제
are in the store.
각종 커밋에 이제 계속 검색하고 있는데
That's
호송론이 이게 버그돼요, 버그. 그래서 이게 이제
all the apparel events
인지하고
are
있어가지고 이거를
exclusive to that time
버그를 이걸 이제
and
고친다, 아니 고칠 수도 있다네요.
are added to the
네, 언제 할지 모르겠는데.
after the event is done.
So yeah, the question was
호송론도 이제
specifically about
막히겠는데?
the
아니
baby
그 전에 씨
face
The
mask.
baby face.
산화제 런이나 쳐
It's in the
막아라.
store.
Also, people asking about the rerun of the older events, specifically Hardwired, Setback.
It's not
때문에
something
씨,
that
내
we're
치킨 식는다.
considering
야,
at
이씨.
the moment.
겨우 이 정도
So
내용
we'll
갖고
see what happens, but, you know, we
한
have,
시간에 걸려? 그러니까 내가
content coming
눈을
up,
말하지만은 아까 아니 눈을 말한 게 아니고 아까도 말했는데 짧고 굵게 말해야 되는데
planning for,
이놈의
that right now is
저 뭐냐
focused,
개발자는 혓바닥이 긴지
instead of,
모르겠어.
rerunning our old apparel events.
And are there any plans on making more apparel items on the shop available to buy with textiles?
아까 좀 기대는 해보긴 하네요. 왜냐하면은 얘네들이 이제 그 뭐지
I won't rule it out.
이런
Definitely not.
잘 자라는 튕기는 문제나
There might be
멈추는
some,
문제 이런
some
거를
occasions where that is a,
아예 팀을
it's a good way
꾸려서
for us
고치려고
to
한다 하니까
distribute, apparel items. So yeah, it might happen, but we don't have any specific plans right now. The time it takes to create the content for a season in terms of, you know, the characters that need dressing and you need new items, and then on top an apparel event is quite a huge task, and right now that's about what we have in terms of production capacity, but we're always looking for small holes where we can add stuff and optimize things, and then we'll see where we end up with those.
Yeah, I actually see a lot of people asking about that from time to time, but at the same time, I don't see a lot of people running in the yellow hunter outfit and the stinger one, because that was the
Yeah.
and the tracksuit, the pink tracksuit. You guys are not wearing it. Like, show us
Yeah.
some love.
At least the yellow hunter suit is in the store for textiles. That's correct.
Yeah, and the pink tracksuit is a Gamology.
Gamology is premium.
Yeah.
Premium only. Yep.
Sorry. PvP questions. There's actually a question about the conflict. Do we plan to add more maps to conflict?
No,
Not at the moment.
not at the
Yeah.
moment. First, we need to really make sure that conflict feels right, and with that, we'll have discussions with the PvP ETF and see how we can potentially change that experience, and then look at, you know, let's not discuss too much into the future. I think first and foremost, it's about, you know, making sure that conflict feels rewarding and fun, and that can hopefully be done with some adjustments to the rewards and how the RPG is working inside that game mode.
Another question from the PvP community about the cheaters and how we're actively combating that. And I think it's important to mention once again that it's absolutely necessary for you to report cheaters whenever you encounter them. Same goes for people who are, harassment or an explicit talk. If you actually encounter something that makes you uncomfortable, it doesn't matter if it's cheating or just inappropriate behavior, please make sure to record the video is the best option here, and make sure you send the report to Ubisoft support, because unfortunately neither me nor Morten, we cannot ban people. We do not have access to that specific system. So whenever we see your reports, there is a very little chance for us to act on that.
Yeah, and
unless there was a ticket open already or information that support has in their sanctioning metrics that this specific
이것도 그다음에 의상 이벤트 안 한다 했구나.
sanctioned before.
Yeah, you know,
디지털
manual bans,
디지털
they are super
나 못
difficult to
얻었다고
do.
그거 얻고 싶었는데
any kind of
아
evidence
진짜
needs to be extremely explicit.
저거 이벤트 할 때 진작 빨리
And
했었어야
of
했는데
course, that's easy to see if it's a video.
그동안
And especially
12월 달엔
we've seen
배틀필드
examples of
열심히
people
해가지고
streaming, cheating, and shooting through walls, and and whatnot. So support can easily identify that type of cheating, but all other sorts of cheating, I know that people are discussing, lag switching or Cronus Max, whatnot. There's a lot of different things, and it's just extremely difficult for us to do anything about it. It's not that we are not trying, but it's a matter of focus and availability and data. Yeah, so there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes all the time, but we do what we can. But as I also stated recently, the main part of the bans comes from the automated systems through EC anti-cheat, and then support follow up with the good reports that come in.
Yeah, absolutely. And the sanctioning matrix itself to kind of give you a better insight into how that works and how that operates and set up. Nobody is going to be banned on the first account. A person needs to be a reoffender to actually be banned forever. And that is a quite rare occurrence because usually people are sane and decent enough to stop doing whatever they are doing in the game that it goes against the rules whenever they get the first report.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. If it's easy anti-cheat catching you using a cheat software, I'm pretty sure you're banned for life. I don't know our sanctioning history and rules, but yeah, there's definitely a big
아 이제 뭐 없나? 뭐 없는 것 같은데.
are getting depending on what they're doing in our game. But yeah,
absolutely.
we know it exists, and we are fighting all we can, but it keeps happening again and again in all games. So unfortunately,
but unfortunately, yeah, I will need to remind you once again that we can't ban people that you guys report to us on our personal Twitter accounts.
Nope.
You will still need to reach out to Ubisoft support for them to collect and store that data, because if the person is the reoffender and consistently keeps, using glitches or using inappropriate language, that should be written in the system. That information should be there. And that is the only opportunity to actually ban that person.
correct.
So, yeah. Moving on, what do we have? A question about raids. Why don't we consider adding exotics to the discovery difficulty of raids?
I don't know. It's probably just not been on the table. We're constantly looking at what type of activities should have their rewards updated. So I can't really comment on this one because I've not been part of the raid discussion. But yeah, it's a good question. If there should be anything added to that. So we'll see what happens in future seasons.
I mean, we just added it to the Dark Zone, and people started complaining immediately.
That's
so
correct.
what's going to happen if we add that on discoverability? Yeah, discovery difficulty. Since the raid exclusive exotics are now available to PvP players in the Dark Zone, will you make the Dark Zone exclusive gear sets available on the PvE side? It's actually something that we haven't really...
We have been discussing, where we could use that gear, but it's not. There are no plans currently for that.
I'm not sure if we want to address any questions about Descent or about the multiplayer. Like, there were questions about how many people will be able to play together.
Oh,
Descent.
That's a one group size, so that's 4 players.
4 players, yeah.
Yeah.
So there was also a question about the Pentagon mission and the fix?
Yeah, so there's the DARPA mission and the Pentagon. That's where people get stuck because they boost a character to New York and complete that before they've done the other one in Washington. And we know about it. We're working on it. One of them, I believe it's the DARPA one, if I'm not mistaken, has been fixed. I can't remember which update. So many title updates, but yeah, we're constantly working to fix it. We know it's annoying, and we will do our best to fix that issue. It's a lot of new players. We've had many new players over the course of the fall and of course with the Steam introduction. So if they boost and run into these issues, it's super frustrating. So that's why we've seen a lot more players reporting this recently, because we've seen such a tremendous boost in new player activity in the last 4 to 5 months.
Also another
신고해서
question,
과연 그 잡아줄 수 있을런가?
will the game continue
생유저나
to
비매너
also
유저를
begin
신고해주라.
current date when hovering the northwest of the map? I believe that the fix is
이제
in and has been in for
요즘
quite
뭐야
some time
그
now.
카다에서 한
Also,
핵쓴 사람
there's another
두 번인가 세
capacity
번인가 봤는데
for the travel
다
between
신고를
New
해놨고
York
Yeah.
and
그
DC
사람들이
that's,
아직도
coming with,
핵을 쓰고
bonus
다니는지는
update.
모르겠지만
Yeah, because partially that was fixed
아유.
after the season 10 update that we did last week, so it should be completely fixed with
Yeah,
TU17.
yeah.
So basically tomorrow. Question about the marksman rifle brand set. Will there be a buff or overhaul for marksman rifles? They suffer from a severe accuracy damage deficiency. I think that's what basically season 11 is about.
Yeah, season 11 is about snipers. So that I think there's like 2 questions I see a lot. So this is one of them. The damage accuracy / range, and the other one is the available ammo capacity. So we are looking at all things like this constantly, and we will, of course, with this season going live, have a closer look at the sniper rifles in particular to follow and see how they behave. Once players start playing with the new toy, and then. But then we'll drop an update if we believe that it's warranted.
Will the Ninja Bike will be working with brand sets and gear sets, or only one of them? Actually,
It should definitely work with.
타워건
all
버그도
types of,
인지를 하고 있다라. 이건 다 뭐냐 보고는 있는데 이제
it's brand sets, it's gear sets.
이거를 해결을 못 하고 보나 보네요.
So we'll see a lot of new
이런
constellations
버그를
of,
역시나
hopefully,
유비답다 해.
in the coming weeks.
and I think
디비전2
we're gonna
개발자가
take one
어디
last
다
question,
떠난다.
because
왜
we're
해결을
over
못
time.
하지?
There are a few questions about the changes to the existing skills. I remember that was mentioned in one of the previous streams that it's something that we're considering, that we don't want to add new skills, but rather look at the existing ones. And the question is specifically about the skills that are quite rarely used because they require a lot of micromanagement, but I actually don't remember.
I think that's a good question to save for.
그 핵을 과연 얘네들이 빨리 처리해 주냐가 문제죠.
See that little
이제
smile?
레인보우 6 시즈 같은 경우에는 보면은
I'm
이제
trying
핵을
to pretend
잡았다고
that I know
광고를
nothing.
해주잖아요. 막
I actually know nothing.
근데 핵을 잡아도 또 나오고 또 나오고. 왜냐면은 이제 가격이 싸잖아요. 근데 유비 게임들이 지금 할인을 많이 하고 있으니까 또 안 그래도 스팀으로 디비전도 싼 마당에 핵 열심히
Thank you.
쓰겠죠. 그 얘가 배틀그라운드잖아요. 배틀그라운드도 배그가 너무 싸니까는 이제 카카오 배그 아닌 그 스팀 배그가 핵쟁이들이 많았죠.
After the maintenance and the patch notes are going to be posted on our social media tonight. So check them out and make sure that you're gonna be in the game tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
끝났네요.
Goodbye.
에휴, 결론은 뭐. 근데 그건 안 나왔네요. 제일 중요한 게 완벽한 서다죽이랑 네, 기타 뭐 완벽한 시리즈 내준다 했는데 그런 부분은 안 나왔어요. 이거는 하강 나올 때나 해줄라나? 이로써 서다죽이 곤란 서다죽 생존이 더 늘어났네요. 다들 이거 삭제해보네 어찌네 했는데. 근데 이제 닌자 백팩이 옵션이 가슴 방어구랑 뭐였지? 백팩이 효과가 제일 중요하지 않아요? 데미지 보너스가 1% 증가인데 0.65에서 이게 엄청나 클 건데 기존 타겟 때는 살았어요. 그게 진짜 애매하네. 네, 제가 봤을 때는 기타대는 좀 쓰기 애매하고 닌자 백팩을 다른 부위 쪽은 그런 부분 쪽만 이제 아마 어떻게 조합해서 쓰면 괜찮을 것 같긴 한데 가령 이제 기타대 이제 가슴 방어 쓸 생각 없으면은 아예 가슴 방어란다 백팩 하부하고도 겹쳐서 써도 괜찮을 것 같긴 한데 하부 3셋이 뭐냐? 하부 3셋이 돌소 경기간 데미지랑 무기 조작량인데 야 무기 조작량 15%에다가 기타대 잠깐만 기타대 무적 30%네 30% 그래 되면은 이렇게 되면은 이렇게만 차도 좀 반동 심했던 총들 있잖아요. 총들을 완전 날라다니겠는데? 아니면은 무자비? 무자비 이런 것도 써먹을 수 있나? 하부가 돌소 돌소랑 경기관 총이구나. 그럼 쓰기 애매하다 무자비는. 경기관 총의 특급 그러면은 가슴방어구는 가슴방어구를 뭐에다 쓰냐가 중요하구나. 하부 2셋에 기동 타겟 때 3셋 해가지고 닌자 백팩하고 가슴 방어구를 쓴다. 그렇게도 생각 좀 해볼 수가 있네요. 닌자 백팩을 하여튼 나오고 나서는 어떻게 될지 모르겠는데, 일단 막상 이제 오늘 이제 업데이트를 해봐야 중요한데, 우리 코요테도 또 효과가 있기 때문에, 코요테 또 무시 못하겠네. 이러면은, 일단은 진짜 나와보고 조합을 해보고 어떤 게 나올지 딜이 더 나올지는 연구를 해봐야 될 것 같아요. 저도 뭐 여러 가지 계속 파밍하면서 준비를 해보고 그런 식으로 이제 찾아봐야 되고 이제 우리 이제 걔네들이 이제 서버 튕기는 거나 델타 크래시 막 이런 거 부분에 대해서도 팀을 꾸려서 해결을 하려고 하니까 이 부분도 기대를 좀 해봐야겠네요. 맨날 근데 괜히 기대를 하다가 뒤통수 맞을 그런 분위기? 왠지 또 오히려 더 화를 더 키우는 거 아닌가. 괜히 건드렸다가 더 심한 오류가 나올 수도 있고 헌터킬러 이거는 헌터 다 잡아야 나오는 거잖아, 이게. 나도 이거 얻어본 적이 없어가지고. 옵션이 뭘까? 완벽한 이염 전설이구나. 근데 이게 헌터를 다 잡고 열쇠로 열었을 경우에 안 나온 경우도 있어요? 헌터 킬러가? 무조건 나오죠. 근데 이제 옵션 때문에 그런 건가? 아, 버그 걸려서. 그거 걸리면 해결이 안 된가 보네요. 이거는 그냥 뭐 부캐로 키워갖고 하는 수 외에는 방법이 없네. 이제 뭐 별다른 내용은 솔직히 없는데, 일단 뭐 저 보니까는 이게 기믹을 안 쓰면 헌터가 안 나와. 헌터를 못 잡아요? 그때 뭐지? 누가 도와주라 하길래 헌터 몇 마리 잡긴 했는데, 어, 저도 나중에 한번 봐보기는 해야겠습니다. 그런 거로 오늘 방송 여기까지 하고, 저도 지금 치킨 사놓은데 지금 완전 식었거든요. 이거라도 뭐 어차피 먹긴 먹어야 되니까. 아예 저녁을 안 먹은 상태라. 예, 예. 대충 이제 내용 뭐 커멘트나 이제 제 발번역이나 뭐 구글 번역기로 다 뒤져가지고 써본 건데, 어찌어찌 내용은 이제 해석을 했지만은 또 좀 더 부족한 부분이 있을 것 같긴 한데, 근데 제가 대충 보면은 이게 끝인 것 같아요. 뭐 더 별다른 건 없는 것 같고, 사람들 진짜 기대를 많이 했는데 6천명 봤어요. 6천명. 6천명 넘게 봤는데, 아휴, 이런 내용을 1시간 넘게 말을 했다니 참 답답하네요. 난 또 뭐 엄청난 내용을 가지고 올 줄 알았는데, 결론은 추격전을 하고 닌자 백팩을 하고 뭐 그런다. 그게 제일 중요하다. 그래서 가보겠습니다. 오늘은 하여튼 패치되고 어떻게 될지 모르겠어요. 오늘 패치가 문제가 생긴다면 아마 방송 안 하고 제가 사적인 일 좀 처리해야 될 것도 있으니까, 혹시나 빠르게 패치가 된다 하면은 방송을 할 것이고, 오래 걸린다 싶으면은 그날은 휴방을 하도록 하겠습니다. 그러면 가보겠습니다. 오늘 시청해 주셔서 감사하고, 오늘 낮에 뵐 수 있으면 뵙도록 하겠습니다. 가보겠습니다.